February the 19th, so it's just come towards the end of winter. There's still a few more weeks to go till we hit spring, but I'm going to look at the pond this week and specifically cleaning it out. I have cleaned it during the winter, but we've had a little bit of wind over the last week or two and leaves have got inside under the netting. You can probably see one or two leaves floating, but my main concern is the ones on the base of the pond, and I'll try and show you them in a minute. Oh, you can see the leaves just floating everywhere. I'm not sure about the glare in the pond, but if you look right at the bottom there, there's leaves absolutely everywhere and sank. Now, initially they don't pose a threat, but as they start to rot, some nasty bacteria may grow there, so I'm going to remove them, and that's what I'm going to do today. We'll just lift the netting from either side of the bridge, which is relatively easy. I've just got some hooks on the side of the pond and the netting just hooks over them. I also need to take the netting off this side of the bridge, and again it's relatively easy. I just pull the netting off the hooks. Lots of acer leaves falling from this. See them? Let's get rid of them. Nope. No bramble, that can move. Put that away. So there we are then, that side is removed as well. So hopefully just where the koi is swimming there, the fish, you can probably see a mound of leaves at the base of the water. So I'm going to have to get the net, clean it out, then get the hoover. However, before I do that, I just want to show you the net I purchased a few months ago. So here's the net. The net itself at its widest point is 45 centimetres or 450 centimetres. It's no good for koi, to be quite frank. It's okay for smaller fry or smaller koi, but certainly not your larger type. I use this specifically to remove leaves. I bought it initially for the tea house pond, but now I'm going to use it on the koi pond. It's quite deep here, and again I don't really recommend this for removing koi. It's much better to get the pan type, big large pan type, around about a metre wide. They don't particularly flex down in the middle much, but they're great for lifting the koi out, and it tends not to damage the koi. So this is specifically for removing debris from the pond. It's got a great reach. It's 3,140 centimetres long at its full extension. There we go. It goes on and on. There we go. Look at that. From there, all the way down. It's solid, made of aluminium, so it's not going to rot or rust. And the net itself is very, very strong. I've used it now for a couple of months on the tea house pond, and it's great. Very, very strong, I've got to say that. Durable, got like a plastic coating on top of the aluminium, just to protect it even more. And it costs, if I remember, £43 from eBay. The top comes off, you simply depress a little button here. There we go, and that pops off. So if you need a new one, if you break this, you can easily replace the net itself. Oh, there you go. Where's it gone? There we go, click into place. And that's the net I'm going to use. So away we go, and let's get rid of some of this debris. There's lots of it, not too much floating. Most of it's on the base of the pond. I'll get the floating stuff first. There we go. The extension gate just saves me walking all the way around the pond. It's a bit heavy though, that's the only thing. It's okay. I'm relatively strong. But if that was full, it would probably become a bit of a strain to it. Simply because of the length, which is just over 3 metres. But as it stands, I'm okay at the minute. The sliding mechanism is very, very smooth. But it doesn't snap at all. So there we are. There's not a great deal floating in the top. But what I do with this, I just push it to the back of this little harbour here, where the settee is. And it's on top of a flower bed, so that will rot down. I'll just dig that in. Great sliding mechanism, I've got to say that. Okay, there's not a great deal down this area. In fact, the base of the pond there is comparatively clean. In fact, other than a hoover, there's very few leaves, if any at all. This is where the vast majority are, just around here. Still one or two floating there. Right, here we go. And this is where the pond can get a little bit murky. I've still got the filter running. There you go. Look at that. Oh dear. The leaves retain quite a bit of water, so I'm lifting water at the same time. There you go. So what I might get here is a wheelbarrow. I don't want to throw this on the garden. There we go. Let's have a look at how many leaves I gathered. So there you go, it's quite a bit. Having said that, we did have a lot of wind a few days ago. and it's definitely accumulated on the bottom of the pond, got through the net. I think the biggest culprit is the bridge, to be honest. Because I've got no netting on the bridge, the leaves probably go through there, so I think next season, for the autumn, I'm going to have to put something on top of here. I have thought about it before, but laziness prevented me from doing it. No excuse. So yeah, I'm going to have to put a net just underneath next autumn, I think. And hopefully will help to prevent more leaves falling through. I also need a new net, to be honest. There's 1 or 2 holes in it now, it's getting weaker. I've had it for a good 6-7 years. So the UV rays from the sun have got to it and it's been snagged, etc, etc. So I might do a complete renewal by the end of the summer. Next I'm going to vacuum the base of the pond. The water will go onto that flower bed just there. A little bit will overspill, but it doesn't go back into the pond. That's the main thing. There you can see the water being dispatched on the back of the vacuum. It's a very good pump to RC pond vacuum. So the last thing I'm going to do as part of the pond clean is to clean the filter out. Now it's been running for a while, so it's collected quite a bit of debris from when I cleaned the pond. And this part of the filter system is out of the vortex. I've got some Japanese matting, that's the top part of it. Just 4 foams, that seals the main hole in the vortex. That's the outlet to the vortex, so that foam stops any debris getting through there. So that's a fine cleaner. And then you've got your 3 main foams. I just sit on top of this and it just collects a lot of fine and sometimes a little bit heavier particles. So it's not a bacterial filter, hence I can use straight water. It's simply a mechanical filter to take out debris, and if anything this is pretty good because you're going to kill any bacteria. Unfortunately good bacteria as well as bad, but it makes no difference because the main bacterial filter is back in there, and I'll show you that later. Anyway, all that I do is blast it with a pressure washer. Quite a lot of fish poo there and everything. I've seen it's a lot dirtier than this in the summer. That. So it's quick. So the next part of this is cleaning the vortex and the foams inside it. So as you can see there's the inlet pipe, and as the water swirls round it swirls around and all the debris, muck, guns, call it what you wish, gets caught in that Japanese matting that surrounds the inside of the barrel. On top of that, I will put the top Japanese matting, the one that you've just seen me clean, and then the foams. And that pretty much gets rid of all the larger debris and much of the fines. In fact, the pond is incredibly clear. Inside there, I've also got a submersible, I've forgotten the word, ultraviolet light. I'll just show you that now. So that's the submersible UV. It's an amalgam lamp, so it's very powerful, and it actually kills all the bacteria, which is great for when it comes in. The main bacteria filter is based on K1, which they're based in a barrel just after that vortex, and that's a moving bed, so there's air just moving the K1 all the way around. I've got a second barrel. They all contain around about 80 to 85 litres of K1. That's the second barrel in line. They're connected just there. And the third barrel, which is the outlet to the pond itself and then to the treehouse filter medium, is just there. And again, that's another 80-85 litres of K1. So it's incredibly well filtered, I believe so anyway. So I'm just going to rest this UVC submersible just in there, temporary, until I replace it back into the vortex. So let's give the internals here a good blast with a pressure washer. Apologies if the camera shakes a bit, but I'm two-handed here, one with the lance and one with the camera. There you go. I think you get the idea. I'll show you how I've cleaned it after. It's just a bit difficult to clean with the camera in my hand. So all I'll do next is put the filter top on, which is Japanese matting again. There's just a little hole there. There you go, that fits on top of the other stuff. And you'll see just a hole there, and that's where I put the amalgam germicide UVC. Okay, this fits nice and gently in there. Just push it to the top. This fits in, and that won't pull out. There you go. Next, I just put this little foam and seal that Japanese matting in, so no large debris can get through. Okay, that's pushed nice and tight in. I then place the other foams just around the UVC at the top, and again that helps to trap a few more fines, and the water comes out quite clean. One, because of the amalgam lamp. I've also got UVC on the outlet to the filter system, but also because of these foams here that traps a lot of fines. All that I'm going to do now is turn the filter on. A lot of the water will just empty through the vortex because I've left the bottom drain open. You can probably hear. So that's going down the top pipe. I'll just leave that for a couple of seconds because there will be some muck and Lord knows what in there as you drain back to the pump. All I'm going to do now is just close this. It's quite stiff, so I usually use two hands, to be honest. Oh god. Yeah, it's difficult, hang on. So that's clean, and that's closed. And the water now should start to flow through the system. So there we go, there's the water coming up. Will be a little bit of let's call it top dressing, just on the water there. It's just like that, a few fines, but the foam filter will trap all that. Then the water into the pond goes incredibly clean, which is also important to biological filters, because that needs absolutely clean water. And when I say clean, I mean free of debris, otherwise it will block the K1 up, and then the bacteria will not be able to grow on the K1. So there we go, that's the outlet from the vortex. Clearly it's not spinning at the top because I've put that Japanese mapping on the top part of where the actual water spins. And I know there's Japanese mapping there, but it still spins around. So centrifugal force is still in action to throw most of the debris into the foam, sorry, into the Japanese mapping. There we go, the water's going through the outlet, the bacteria filter, to the second one in line, which is there, and it's near the third one kicking in as the water flows through the outlet to the third bacterial filter, which is there. There we go, job done. So all I've got to do now is turn the amalgam UVC on, and also just the basic so clear 30 watt UVC on, which is on the outlet just there, and that runs through to there. It's a TMC UVC. So let's turn them on. And that's for the amalgam light. And if I zoom in there, you can probably just see the amalgam light underneath the water. Let's lit up now. Try and zoom in. Nope. There you are. It's a bit blurred, but that's it. So after the filter clean and obviously the pond clean, all that remains to do is top the pond up, which I'm doing there, as you can see. And then put the nets back on. I'm out in the garden this afternoon, so I might just leave the nets off until the last thing. So while the pond is topping up, I'm going to feed the fish. And the way I'm going to do it is still only 9 degrees the water is. I'm using all season, not this stuff. I've actually got JPD all season in there. Now, what I'm going to do is use this vacuum extractor. So you put the feed in there, and there's little air pockets in the feed, and what it does, it takes all the air and the bubbles out of the feed, so the actual feed sinks to the floor. So all I've got to do is there you go. That's enough food for this time of year. Just enough for them to feed on. I don't want them to starve, because they won't anyway. Put the top on. Fill that full of water. Put the vacuum pump on. Extract the air from the feed. And there you go. Just needs a bit more water in there, I think. Try it again. There you go. I keep sucking all the air out until I can see less and less air bubbles. There you go. You can see the air bubbles just there. There you go. all see them sinking down now in the water. There you go. That's it to go for the feed. I haven't fed them for a couple of days. There you go, and it's all sinking. Yeah, they're going for it, which shows they're ready for feeding. Cold water fish will not eat if it's too cold. So even if you put the food in, don't worry about them eating the food. If they don't want it, they won't eat it. The only problem with putting food in when the water's too cold is the proteins in the food will disperse with the water and the bacteria might feed on it, and that's a bad bacteria. Okay, the final thing I'm going to do, I forgot to mention, I'm going to put this bacteria remedy in, and what it does, it fights the bad bacteria in the pond, and it essentially starves it to death, and it helps to reduce the cases of bacterial infection in the fish, such as ulcers, etc. At this time of the year, when the fish's immune system is down anyway, it's a good idea to put it in. Bear in mind, this stuff doesn't work with water temperatures below 7 degrees. However, the water temperature is now at 9 degrees. I've looked at the weather forecast, and certainly over the next week, perhaps 10 days, the air temperature won't drop a great deal below 8 to 9. Therefore, I'm confident that that water temperature will stabilise around 8-9 degrees anyway. So this stuff should work. So all I've done, I've put down about 3.5 litres of water in there. 80% of it is pond water. The other 20% is warm tap water. That's what we recommend. Then all that you do, heat this up thoroughly. It's like an orange substance. There's lots of bits in it, so make sure it's completely mixed up. A good shaking. Simply add it to the water. Like so. Ball left in there. Okay. And then leave it for 5 minutes while it wakens up. It is a bacteria in itself, so it needs to wake up. Once it's woken up after about 5 minutes, pour it evenly around the pond. And that's that. Well, it's been a good 10 minutes. I'm going to sprinkle it around the pond. There we go. Job's a good one. Well, the pond nets are down and I've finished it for the day, and I've done pretty much quite a few things. It doesn't take me long. It took me around about 1 hour in total to clean the pond. It took me 15 minutes to clean the pond filter, and as you know, I put the bacteria stuff into the pond, the nitrolactobacteria whatever it's called, into the pond for around about 5 minutes. So it's not a massive amount of maintenance. Bear in mind, I don't do that every week. But anyway, that's it for this week. In fact, for a few weeks now. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. That's why I maintain the pond. It's how I maintain the garden. And the next thing I'll be doing is the tea house. And I hope you can see this in this final shot. Just down there. I've got the pond down there. I've got a leak in it. I have to rectify the leak. And the next video will be showing you how I find the leak and how I rectify it. Until then, have a good one. Happy ponding. And see you next time.